Good Saturday morning, everybody. On this March 11th, I'm Chris Allen with Weather Stick. Weather Stick, yeah. Sponsored by Ace Hardware Marketplace, Sam Channel Weather on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. It is a Saturday. Love the weekend. Well, we're going to start out dry this morning. We're not going to see any rain until we get into later this afternoon, this evening. You can see that on the satellite, we're starting to see a lot of cloud cover. Well, overnight, we've had some low clouds. Now we're seeing a little bit of clearing with some high clouds. So the brighter the clouds, the higher the clouds. That low gray deck that you see from Bowling Green up to about E-Town and then covering the eastern part of the state, that's the low clouds that have been with us. And those low clouds actually help keep temperatures a little bit warmer during the overnight hours so it didn't get so chilly. But now the next approaching system is moving in, and eventually, even though most of the day today is going to be dry, we will begin to see some showers moving in a little bit later on. Details on that coming up after we check the blender. It's the 10-day blender to give you a preview of what's coming with temperatures 52 today. Yeah, low 50s. That's about where we landed yesterday. 53 was the high, average 58. So we were 5 degrees below the average yesterday. Uh, when the sun did come out, it didn't really feel all that bad. There was a little bit of a breeze, and when the breeze would blow, it kind of felt a little chilly. But really, that was spot on or close to it to where we're supposed to be for this time of the year as far as temperatures. Let's see here. We go tomorrow, 53. Then the two chilliest days that we're going to see, I think, in the next several, are going to be Monday and Tuesday. We get into especially Monday night. Looks like we could see hard freeze conditions. And some of you have already put out, some plants for the growing season. Just be aware that we could get down into the upper 20s and maybe even the mid 20s for overnight lows during the nighttime on Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Then we recover. We get back into the upper 50s, even heading close to 70 by Thursday. I know that's a red flag for some of you that's like, ooh, does that mean severe weather? No, not in this case. Then we see low 60s by Friday. And once we get into next weekend, we do the same thing, kind of what we're doing today. And that is another shot of chillier air, cold during the night on a couple of nights. But as you can see, we recover again right after that. So, really, what we're seeing now is your typical transition into spring. What we've seen in the last month or two is not the typical transition into spring. Um, with that warmer pattern, we're going to see a kink in the jet stream. We're going to see a kink in the, winter's been locked away to the north for weeks and months. And now we're going to see it unlock a little, not that much. It's not going to be like all of a sudden we're going to get this big winter storm and a big snow and all of that I don't see that coming either. It's sort of in between, but this flexing of warm to cool to warm, more in line with where it should be this time of the year, that's more what we're going to see. The usual transition from winter to spring as we would normally have it here in southern Kentucky, instead of just going from one extreme to the other. It's going to be more balanced. Taking a look at Kentucky Mesonet temperatures this morning, you see a lot of 30s. There are some 20s where we've had that little sliver of clear sky. You've got the blanket of clouds, as I mentioned, that's held the temperatures warmer overnight, mid 30s, upper 30s. where we see this darker blue here in the western part of the state, that's where the skies cleared for a bit. And now some of these high clouds are coming into western Kentucky, as you saw on satellite. So, right here in this little strip through the Pennyrile, we're seeing temperatures starting out. There's a 27, a 28, a 29, a 30. Then we go back into the mid 30s out in far western Kentucky. So that's how the morning is starting out. Some of you will maybe where the skies have cleared could see a little frost on your windshield, but other than that, we're just starting out with some of these clouds. Okay, let's get to the nitty gritty and show you the patterns here over the next several days with a look at the surface models and upper air models and all of that fun stuff. Here's the flow, and you can see the kink in the line, or at least one of the kinks in this jet stream. Once it's gone up and over into Canada, it's come back down, and notice kind of splitting Kentucky there this morning. So that is allowing some of this colder air to move a little closer to us. The pattern, as you know, if you've been watching here, has been a Pacific zonal flow, west to east. Now we're getting these dips and ebbs and flows and ups and downs and these little, transitions going on here. And that is going to continue for a while, even though we warm it up some tomorrow, a little bit, actually close to where we should be this time of the year. Here comes the next chance of rain. Here's a low pressure system, but notice 1001 millibars, not that deep, not that strong. And we do have more of a zonal flow. That jet stream energy, the lower jet's going to bring in some of this moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, but the upper jet is, keeping the dividing line between real winter and more of a warmer winter to early spring pattern across the South. But we'll see that change too. So here we get some showers overnight tonight and tomorrow. That moves away. And then you notice another kink. Look at that. This one goes further south and provides this trough, which is going to allow more Canadian air, more a little bit modified polar air to spill down into Kentucky. So this is where we go into, like Monday, Tuesday, early Wednesday, we trend colder. And we have a couple of nights here with a hard freeze. Yeah, it's going to happen. And the thing is, if you put out plants, this is not going to be good for that. Look at that. Look at that dip, man. And this becomes a nor'easter up here in the New England states. Look at that. That's big time wind and rain. And then north of that, you get snows. I mean, that's a pretty good storm there. Looking at the timeline here, that's Tuesday, about 7 a.m., 6, 7 a.m. on Tuesday morning. And that's where we get that cold plunge. And it's going to be kind of, what an arrow. That was nasty. We get that cold plunge right here into Kentucky, even Tennessee, even parts of Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, the Carolinas. They're going to feel some of that colder air too. Not good for the growing season if you've already, put out something. But then it retreats once we get into Wednesday. Here comes some warmer air. And notice this thing really, a ridge starts to build in the Rockies and in the plains. And now we're starting to feel that warmer air. And this is where we're going to start to transition back into the upper 50s, into the 60s. And we get that big surge on, what is it, Thursday next week, when we get into the upper 60s to around 70. So, this is, again, like I've said before, these things are short lived as far as having that small taste of winter, having that chill in the air. It's just not going to last very long. And there's the next low pressure system to affect us Thursday, into Friday with another chance of rain, but it'll be much warmer. Notice it's fairly weak, 1008 millibars. It's not going to be that big of a system that's going to come through here. All right, let's check now the surface maps and see what's coming in the coming days. Where did they go? Where are my maps? I know. Oh, there they are. Thank goodness. I didn't want to have to call them up again, like go searching for them. That would be embarrassing. And yesterday, I don't know what happened. I watched that back, unless I just temporarily lost some internet, or the internet, uh, the bandwidth went down, because it was like, it was terrible audio. And then I was real herky jerky and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know what happened. I apologize for that. It wasn't me. Had to be somebody else. Anyway, look at the surface map. We're all good to go today until the afternoon. Here comes our approaching low pressure system. It does get a little stronger, 997 millibars. There's a straw. There's a, disturbance that's going to come in. Thunderstorm activity will be mainly west and south of us. Stronger storms into Texas and Louisiana later on this evening. We'll get, looks like maybe what, 4/10, 3 to 4/10 of an inch of rain out of this overnight, early tomorrow morning. Maybe a rumble of thunder for somebody that lives close to the Tennessee line, but this is going to go mainly south of us across the Tennessee Valley, continue out of here. This front is just going to kind of fall apart. It does bring in some of the cooler air for Monday into Tuesday. Now, they've painted in this little bit of snow, northern Kentucky, eastern Kentucky. That's some higher elevation stuff, and something that might fall that somebody sees. But as I've mentioned over the last several days, this wouldn't be anything that's going to stick. This is just not. It's just going to kind of move on. And there you see into Tuesday, into Wednesday, they don't have the precipitation painted in, but we'll be under high pressure. We'll start to warm up. This is when the big warm up happens. Into Thursday of next week, warm front comes in. It gets breezy. It gets warm. Temperatures climb to near 70. And then we have a rainy period as we get into next Thursday into Friday. And here comes a cold front, another low pressure system, 1008. Remember, it's not that deep, but it will be breezy and cooler back behind it at the end of next week. All right, we're all done. Hopefully everything is working like it should, sounding like it should. I've been watching my bandwidth over here. Looks like this one ought to be okay. All right, you guys, enjoy your Saturday. Weather stick is blue, so it says everything is okay. It's going to be dry for the most part of the day, but then by afternoon, we'll start to see some rain showers move in from the west. And again, highs today in the low 50s. Thanks for watching. As always, God bless you. Have a great weekend. Don't forget to set your clocks back 1 hour, or no, ahead 1 hour. It's so easy to say set your clocks back. It's harder to say set your clocks ahead. It's ahead 1 hour tonight. Spring forward 1 hour. Daylight saving time begins at 2 a.m. tomorrow. Okay? Maybe someday we won't have to. God bless you, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow.